Hey fellas, welcome to my quick guide on the must-have add-ons for Battleground Blitz. If you're looking to dominate this new game mode in World of Warcraft, you need to be prepared with the right tools. In this video, we'll break down the essential add-ons that will give you a competitive edge without overwhelming you with unnecessary clutter. That being said, let's get you set up with the right stuff. Going immediately into the first add-on you absolutely must have is Battleground Enemies. Battleground Enemies provides you so much valuable information that will straight up give you an advantage over the other team. And here's how it works. Whenever you load into a battleground, Battleground Enemies will display a list of everyone who is on the enemy team and will even show you their class color along with the icon of the specialization they're playing as well. This saves you time from having to open the scoreboard and manually scroll through the enemy team to find out what the enemy composition is, and gives you more time to make the right talent choices for the battle in the starting room. Additionally, Battleground Enemies allows you to click on the frames of players on the enemy team, allowing you to instantly target them. You can also set your focus by right-clicking on the frame of the enemy you want to focus. This targeting is especially powerful as it allows you to track where every enemy is on the map, and in maps such as Arathi Basin or Deepwind Gorge, knowing who is or isn't going to a particular base can affect your decision making on where the best place for you to go is. Third is that Battleground Enemies will track trinkets and racial abilities for the enemy team as well. This is crucial information as being able to tell when the enemy doesn't have their trinket and give you a window to take a base or a flag from underneath them. Next is that this add-on will show you who on your team is targeting any given enemy by displaying the class color dot of your ally on the enemy's frame. For instance, if I see a light blue dot on the enemy Holy Paladin, then I would know that my ally mage is targeting them. This also goes both ways if you happen to play with the ally frames on as well, and will show you who from the enemy team is targeting your allies. And lastly, if you're at the point in your PvP journey where you're tracking diminishing returns of enemies, Battleground Enemies will do that for you as well. This is critical to ensure your crowd control is getting maximum value on maps where there is an enemy flag carrier such as Warsong Gulch, or if you're going to set up a crowd control chain to take a base from an enemy on like a base map. Having this information ensures you can make the cleanest plays possible. When you're setting up Battleground Enemies, there's a chance that it may be enabled for both the enemy team and your ally team. Having both teams on the screen at the same time can be overwhelming, and I personally like to only play with the enemy team showing. So if you're someone like me, here's how to fix it. All you have to do is type /BGE into the chat to open the menu. From there, you're going to click on the Allies tab, then uncheck the box that says Enable. Battleground Enemies has several different customizations as well, but for the sake of time, I'm only going over the most useful things this add-on can provide for you. Which leads me to my next add-on for today's video, Big Debuffs. So with Big Debuffs, you're primarily going to get two main pieces of information that are valuable to you. The first will be critical, especially if you happen to play a healer, and that is that large icons will show over your teammates' raid frames, notifying you whenever they are in crowd control. This is especially useful for knowing which of your teammates need a dispel, and in Battleground Blitz, keeping as many teammates on the board for as long as possible will help tremendously. In this example here, I can see that my mage and I are both stuck in a mortal coil, and that my hunter is stuck in a fear across the map. And if I were in range of the hunter, I would be able to dispel him. And for you DPS and tank folk out there, big debuffs can be useful for knowing when your healers are stuck in crowd control as well. Knowing when your healers aren't able to heal you will let you know that you may need to use a defensive cooldown to keep yourself alive. The second thing that Big Debuffs does is that it will show you when a large enemy offensive cooldown is active. In this example right here, I can see that the enemy Death Knight has Unholy Assault running, and so I know that I'll need to do a good amount of healing to match the large amount of damage coming out. Or if you're a DPS player, again, this can be another good indicator of when to press one of your own defensive cooldowns so that you can stay alive through large bouts of damage coming from the enemy. The third add-on I'm going to recommend for you is going to be Capping. Capping is really useful for letting you know when bases that are assaulted are going to be captured for the respective team that took it. At the time of making this video, I don't believe it's updated to the Battleground Blitz timers just yet, but I can still get use out of this add-on by using it as a gauge to when a base will capture. Since bases in Battleground Blitz take 4 seconds to assault and 30 seconds to capture, if you're looking at the capping timers, you will know that any base with 34 seconds left on the timer will capture for your team, and that it will be physically impossible for the enemy team to take a base from you unless they've started the capture before that 34-second marker. This gives you a huge advantage because it essentially allows you to leave a locked base on Deepwind Gorge or Arathi Basin 4 seconds early, and that time can be the difference in stopping an assault on another base or being able to get to another base before the enemy is able to. Additionally, on base maps where the bases are not lockable, such as Eye of the Storm and Battle for Gilneas, capping can be used as a timer to know when a team will win the battleground at its given pace. This will let you know how long your team has to make a play, or on a map like Battle for Gilneas, if you're able to hold two bases for a long time but suddenly lose one of them, capping will let you know if you need to fight for the second base back or if you're fine only holding one base for the win. The common theme so far with these add-ons is that they provide you with valuable information which can help enhance your decision making across the board, and these three are critical with facilitating that. The next add-on I'm going to recommend has more to do with your personal performance, that being Details. If you're a Raider or a Mythic Plus player, you've likely used this add-on in the past for being able to look at damage and healing meters, and while you still can use it for that purpose in Battleground Blitz, I get value out of the add-on in other ways. See, you can use Details to take a look at other information such as dispels and crowd control done over the course of a battleground, and this information can tell me if I'm using my class utility to the best of my ability or if I'm focusing too much on raw damage or healing. While both are good, and realistically these metrics should come secondary to objective play in most cases, using Details can help benefit you on a microplay level. While I stress highly on this channel about macro play being the key for Battleground Blitz, I want to emphasize too that getting better with your microplay can allow you to take more risky gambles and make plays that can help swing games back in your favor. So in that regard, it still does hold a purpose. And the last add-on I've got for you all is Omni CC. It's a very simple add-on that gives you more precise cooldown timers over your abilities, and it turns all the standard analog cooldowns into digital ones. This is a simple visual change which can help give you a more precise idea of when your cooldowns are coming back up, allowing you to know when you can go in for an offensive play or if you need to chill and play defense for a while. It's a simple change and there really isn't much else to say on the add-on, but I find it very useful, and that'll do it. These are the must-have add-ons for Battleground Blitz. This isn't a top 5 list, as I believe that you can find success with only these 5 add-ons. Again, my objective here is not to overwhelm you with a gigantic list of add-ons or to turn your UI into a spaceship, but only recommend the bare minimum that will get you a competitive advantage in the new game mode. I feel that if you go too heavy on the add-ons without getting the core gameplay down, you'll be receiving diminishing returns or even putting yourself at a disadvantage. But that'll do it for today's video. If there's an add-on not on here that you personally like to use, let me know down in the comments below. If you've learned something useful or enjoy this type of content, it would mean a lot if you could support the channel. And until next time, this is Moon, signing out.